So inshallah we'll do ayat number 184 of Surah Al-Baqarah today. We did part of the ayat before and the rest of the ayat we'll do inshallah today. The ayat is about the fasting, and in the beginning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that these are the few days of fasting, ayyamam ma'dudat. The beginning of the ayat is ayyamam ma'dudat. We looked at last time. Few days that can be counted, like a month of Ramadan. Okay? And then two options were given, two reliefs were given. One was if the person is sick, or the other one was if the person is traveling as in a journey, then the days can be postponed of fasting in the month of Ramadan. But after the month is over, a number has to be made up. The count has to be made up, and those missing days should be fasted in after the month of the Ramadan. So that is the part we finished last time. فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيدًا أَوْ لَا سَفَرٍ. So whoever is marid or sick, or he is journeying, then Allah says that فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. Then the count to make up is in the days after the month of Ramadan is finished. Now, rest of the ayat here is about a permission that was given in the beginning. In Medina, when this ayat was revealed, a permission was given, but after that more ayats were revealed and that permission was taken back. Okay, so let's understand what was the permission that was given. Okay? So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, wa 'alal ladhina yutiqunahu. So the fasting is ordained, the fasting is prescribed, the fasting has been written, but wa 'alal ladhina, and upon those people, or to those people, yutiqunahu, those who can afford. Yutiquna is from taqat, istita'at, affordability, those who can afford. Fidyatun, then they can pay some ransom, they can pay some money. And what is that? Ta'amu miskin, feeding of a poor. Okay? So here, we'll stop and try to understand this much part of that in the early days, when fasting is prescribed, then whoever is sick doesn't have to fast. One who is traveling, he doesn't have to fast, but has to make up. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here in few of these words is saying that, and this is the early part, that those who can afford, they can feed a poor person and they don't have to fast. Instead of fasting, even though they can fast, instead of fasting, they can feed some poor. But then it is stopped there. In the ayats that came after that, this permission was taken back. Now you must fast. Only if you are sick and traveling, then you don't fast. But then, there is no third possibility. You must fast. Okay? So that is in the following ayat. So that's up to ta'amu miskin. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that even if you are rich, you don't want to fast, you want to give to miskin and poor, but the better thing is that you fast. Even though you are being told that you can give some food to a needy person, but the best thing is that instead of doing that, you should fast. So that is an option given. فَمَنْ تَتَوَّأَ خَيْرًا. So whoever does good, khair means good, on his own accord, voluntarily, فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. So Allah says that is better for him. That is better for him. Then the ayat continues, وَأَنْ تَصُومُوا, but if you fast, خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ, that is better. Even though you are rich and you have an option, but hierarchy, what is higher, what is better, that you should fast. In kuntum ta'lamun, if you know, then what is the reward of fasting, then you should fast. Okay, so this is this end of this particular ayat number 184. So let's look at those in the beginning
what
of.
about the poor people done the fasting almost year, the Monday and Thursday.
No, this is fasting over the month of
This is the
Ramadan.
month of Ramadan.
This nothing to do with that fasting. Yeah.
That's it.
This is
option.
this is obligatory for.
But good to be, my meaning is good to be do those or not, or they have.
Okay, so that's a different thing.
Different.
This is about fasting in the month of Ramadan.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's a sunnah.
Yeah.
Sunnah.
Yeah. So these conditions are only for the month of Ramadan, not outside the Ramadan. Okay. So now the ayat will start with the وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ. Okay. So let's look at the word. Wa means and ala means upon. Okay. And upon. Okay. Alladhina means those people. Okay, so some people in the society, some well-off, some rich people, this ayat is talking about. So alladhina, those, and upon those. Upon those people, upon such people. Some people, they are being addressed here. Okay? So the next word, it starts with these three letters: Ta, Waw, and Qaf. Tawq. Okay? These are three letters, and whenever there are three letters, they belong to the group of the words we call fa'ala. Okay? And if I want to add an alif in the beginning, it becomes af'ala. This becomes alif, ta, waw, and qaf. Okay? And this is okay. Actually, this is the rule. And waw is a weak letter, we know, and with the fatha it sounds like alif. So this becomes ataqa. Waw is written as an alif, is pronounced as alif. So what's the meaning of ataqa? Ataqa means to afford something. Ataqa means to afford something. If you can afford doing something, in Arabic it is used with the meaning of ataqa. Ataqa, you can afford or you are capable of doing something. Okay? Or you have the strength of doing something. Okay? So the word yutiquna taqat, taqat means you're strong to do something. You're capable of doing something. That's what this word is actually. Okay? Or you can afford doing something. Okay? Which means you have enough strength to do something. Okay? And so from this word is the word yutiquna. You put a ta in the beginning and guna at the end. Yutiquna. Yutiquna means they afford. Plural. Third person and plural, like yaf'aluna, they do. Yutiquna, they afford. Okay, so that's what it is, yutiquna. And who means it. The word is yutiqunahu, they can afford it. Yutiquna, they afford. who means it. Okay. So, and for those people or upon those people who afford it or who can afford it. Okay. So this will be those who afford it. Now what is it? Okay, it means that if they have some money, they can feed the poor people. They can give some food to the needy person. So in that situation, they don't need to fast. Okay? But as I said, that this permission was taken back. Okay? So now the next word is fidyatun. Okay? Fidyatun, fidya is also used commonly. Fidya means to give something to someone in exchange of something, ransom, a payment. Okay? If you, for example, they say, if you have done something, then give some fidya, which means it will forgive some sins. Okay? So that's this word. Fidyatun means a ransom. Ransom means a payment. Okay? Giving something, some money or something, food or something else, in exchange of something which you did not do. Okay? So that is the word fidyatun. Okay? So in English it is ransom. Ransom means fidya. A payment is fidya. Okay. So what is that payment? Let's look at these two words here. So the next word starts with these three letters, ta, and mim. Okay. This means to feed or to eat. If you are feeding someone or you're giving someone to eat, that's ta'ama. Okay. And ta'amun means feeding. Or food. Ta'amun or ta'am, when we say, this means feeding someone or giving someone some food. Ta'am means food. Okay? Or feeding. Okay? So that's one word. Ta'amun means feeding. Okay? Now then the other word, it starts with these three letters, Seen, Kaf and Noon. Okay? From these three letters, one word is created which is miskeen. If you put a meme in the beginning and ya, miskeen. Miskeen is a needy person. It's commonly used as yatim and miskeen. Miskeen means a needy person, a person who needs something. So the word is miskeenun actually. Full word is miskeenun, a needy person. So we have two words now. Ta'amun means food or feeding. And miskeenun, a needy person. Okay? So what we have to do, we have to combine these two words by putting an off in between. Okay? So it will become feeding a needy person. Okay? So fidya is some payment, and what is the amount of the payment? Is you can feed a needy person. Whatever it takes to feed the needy person, that is a fidya. Okay, so the word is ta'amun and miskeenun. Ta'amun means feeding or giving to eat. Miskinun, a needy person. But when we combine these two by putting an of in between, Arabic changes is that these two dhammas change into one, and these two dhammas of the second word changes into two kasras. That's the standard rule. So the word becomes ta'amu miskinin. That brings the meaning of in between. So the ransom or the payment is equal to feeding a needy person. So if month of Ramadan came and here you don't want to fast, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that in the beginning, that you can feed a person, hungry or needy person. So that will be feeding of needy. Feeding of needy. Okay. Then, so the ayat stops there. Okay, this order is finished at this point. This is a choice. This is an option that has been given that you can feed a needy person. Okay. So what happens after that? Now in the next few words, which is faman tatawa khairan fahuwa khairul lahu. Okay? So now here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will first translate one more time that whoever does something on his own, good. So whoever does good on his own, even though Allah has not told him to do that, but he wants to do some extra, means he wants to give some charity and he wants to do some good deed. So Allah says that tatawwa means to do something by your own choice. Okay? Khair means good thing. Means giving charity, or as you were saying, fasting on the other days of the month, in the rest of the month, 11 months. All those good deeds that are not ordered by Allah, but you do to please Allah. Okay, so that is what this means, tatawwa, and he does good. Khair means he does good. So Allah says that this good is actually good for him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't gain anything. فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. So that good deed he did is actually good for his own self. For his own self. So that is the meaning of these words. So let's look at the words. Okay, so the first word is faman. Okay. So faman is made of two parts. Fa means so, and man means whoever. So whoever. Okay. Faman, so whoever. Okay. Okay, so the next word is tatawwa. So again, this starts with these three letters: ta, waw, and ain. Okay, these are three letters, so they belong to the group of the words fa'ala. Okay. So what we do, we make a bigger word by adding something in this, and what we add is we add a ta in the beginning, and on the next three letters, fa'ala, we add a shadda on the fa. So this word is now pronounced as tafa'ala. And there are many words in the Quran like tazakkara comes on this weight. Okay? So tafa'ala will make these words just like it is there. Tatawwa. Okay. So I just did the same thing, just put a ta at the beginning. And these three letters I wrote down, but on the middle letter I put a shadda. So this word is pronounced as, okay, so the meaning is that to do something voluntarily. Do something on your own. Okay? So this means do, to do voluntarily. Or on your own. Okay? It is not ordered to you, but you want to do on your own. So doing on your own. That's tatawwa. So faman tatawwa, so whoever did on his own. Okay? Extra worshipping, extra good deeds. Okay, so whoever did on his own, अपनी मर्जी से, by his own will and by his own desire, choice. Okay, so that is tatawwa'a. And what did he do? Khayran. So this word is khay, kha, ya and ra. And the word is khayrun. Khayrun means good. Khayrun is the word. Khayr means good. Okay? It's commonly used. Khayr, or actual word is khayrun. When you combine the three letters, the noun is khayrun. Khayrun means good. Okay? So, this word khayrun is coming after the word tatawwa. So, tatawwa is a verb, and when a noun comes after the verb, what happens? The last two dhammas change into two fathas. So, this word becomes khayran. Okay, khayran. And whenever you have two fathas, you write an extra alif with that. Khayr, meaning still remains same. Khayran means good. The sound only changes from khayrun to khayran because this is a noun, and when noun comes after the verb, it changes to fathas, two dhammas into two fathas. So nothing else changes. This is the sound changes. Okay. So whoever does on his own good, then after that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, because he is doing it good on his own, voluntarily, so fahuwa. Fahuwa means then or so. Fa means then or so. Huwa means it. So it is. Means this khair, this good deed he is doing. Fahuwa, so it is. So this good deed, so it is. Okay. So it is good. Khair again is coming here. So it is good. Okay. And then the next word is lam and who. Lam is for. Who means him. Who means it or him. So here it will be pointing to whoever is doing. Lahu, faman. Man means whoever is doing a good deed. that good deed is good for him. He is going to benefit from that. He will get the reward for that. Okay? So whoever is doing voluntarily good deeds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this is good for him. He is the one who is going to benefit. Allah is not going to benefit. He himself will benefit from that good deed. So this good deed is for him. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling people that go and do good deeds on your own, and then you will be rewarded for those good deeds you do. So that is khairul lahu, is good for him. Then after that, the next part of the ayah, wa antasumu khairul lakum. Okay? So now, this part, these 4 words, وَأَن تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. These 4 words, a small sentence, goes again back to the people who were mentioned in the beginning. Those were the people that those who can afford, those who can afford, instead of fasting, they can give some fidya. Okay, so that was permission. But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in these 4 words that even though you can afford giving some fidya, but better thing is you fast. Okay, so that is these words. So let's look at these words. So here, wa means and an means that. Okay, and we will see the meaning that an becomes a suggestion, an advice, a condition. Okay. Now the next word starts with swad, waw, and mim. Sounds. Okay. This means to fast. Sound means fasting. Okay. Now, if we put a ta in the beginning and vuna at the end, okay, this ta brings the meaning of second person and present tense. Okay, and second person is you. And vuna brings the meaning of plural. Okay. So if you put these 3 letters in between swad, waw, and mim, the word becomes tasumuna. Okay. We just add a ta in the beginning that brings the meaning of present tense and second person. And vuna is plural. So the meaning will be you fast or you are fasting. Present tense and second person is you and vuna is plural. So all of you are fasting. That's the meaning of tasumuna. So the word becomes tasumuna. Tasumuna means you fast. Okay. Taf'aluna, you do. Tasumuna, you fast. Or you are fasting. Okay. It's a present tense. Tasumuna, you fast. Now, if we have this word an before that, okay, what happens? An brings a condition, a suggestion, and the meaning with one change, that if I remove this noon and put an before that, so the word becomes an tasumu. The meaning becomes if you fast. Condition. The meaning of these two words together with the following change, that you take tasumuna, you remove noon at the end, and you put an. So word becomes now antasumu. The meaning of antasumu is if you fast. It becomes conditional statement. If you fast or that you fast. Okay? So one is and antasumunu if you should fast or you fast. Okay? It's giving condition. So instead of giving money or fidya, if you fast. Okay?
Here in the Quran it uses the word an, but the in.
Yeah, so this is not actually the meaning of in here. See, in English, and that you fast. It's a conditional statement. And that you fast.
No, but in
Or should you fast?
In also means if.
Right, but here explicitly if is not coming. Because if in was coming, then this noon cannot go away. Okay? So this is another way of saying that you fast, which means you are setting a condition, similar, bringing kind of meaning that if you fast. Okay? So their in does not do this, what this does. Okay? So wa'an tasumu and that you fast. So here it is not exactly the word if is coming here, but in English if you say and that you fast, which basically you're saying that instead of giving fidya, you fast. Okay? So this if is not actually that if condition if, but it's a suggestion that you fast. But actually it brings the meaning in the same way, that instead of giving fidya, you fast. So if you do that, if you fast, instead of giving fidya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, khairul lakum. Okay? So khair means good. Okay?
Where is the alif coming from? Because
Okay, so when you remove the noon,
and then alif
you have to write an alif with a circle, which means
Okay.
don't pronounce the alif. Okay, so that is this alif is coming from there. Okay, now khair. Okay, so let's look at this word. Lam means for, and kum means you. Okay, so lakum means for you. Okay, so this word that I have been translating here, khair, as good. Okay, but if you notice that, if you have two choices here, one choice or one condition is that you can give some fidya. That's good for you. But if you fast, that's better for you. So here, the actual translation will be better. Okay. So you have been given an option that you can give some fidya. But if you fast, it's better to fast. So khair here should be understood as comparing two rewards. This is a better reward. This is better for you. So it's an encouragement that do work for a better thing. Okay? Fast. Okay? So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is encouraging you to fast. But in the next ayat, which starts with the Shahru Ramadan allazi unzila fihi al-Quran, there the word tasumu is not used. There the word fal yasum is used. Fal yasum means must fast. Fal yasum, if you read in the Quran, the ayat says, Shahar Ramadan allazi, the month of the Ramadan, unzila fihi al-Quran. in that the Quran has been revealed. Right after this, the next ayat. Again, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيدًا أَوْ عَلَىٰ سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرَ. Then those two options are still there. That if you are sick or you are traveling, then fast after the month of Ramadan. But then in that ayat, this portion is not mentioned there. In that ayat it says, فَلْيَصُمْ. The person must fast. Okay, lam is a must. Lam ta'keed, emphasizing. When lam comes, فَلْيَصُمْ, he must fast. So here, there is no choice of giving some money. Okay, but this was revealed in the beginning of the Prophet ﷺ when he came from Makkah to Medina migration. Then in the beginning, he was fasting only few days, every month. And he was fasting on the 10th of Muharram and a few other. Okay? But when this ayat was revealed, in this ayat, the fasting for the entire month of Ramadan was ordered. But then some options were given like this one. Okay? Then later on, another ayat revealed, which start with Shahar Ramadan al-Lazi. In that ayat, this permission was taken back. In that ayat, fasting was must. And imagine that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had not made that fasting as a must thing, then all the rich people would just do this thing. Instead of fasting, they'll say, oh, Allah has given us the choice. So give food for 30 days for the miskin. And this is now we don't have to fast. Only poor people who don't have money. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took the permission back and said, you have to fast. Doesn't matter if you are rich or you are poor. You will have to fast except that you are sick or traveling. But even then, you make it up. Okay? So you have a question?
Yeah. This is about the rich people or about they can give money. How about the poor people who cannot afford it?
Well, that's what it is. In the beginning, rich people were given the choice. But then choice was taken back. No more rich people have to fast now. In the next ayat, this ayat, the next ayat supersedes this ayat. So in this ayat, permission was given, taken back. So now rich has to fast and poor has to fast.
Allah made it equal for everyone.
For equal, for everyone.
Equal, right? But in case of sick,
That's still a valid. If you are sick, you still don't need to fast in Ramadan. You make it up. But if the sickness is such that there is no chance of recovery, then you don't have to fast. You just give fidya.
at my point is this: if I can afford the fidya,
You can't afford fidya,
yeah, I am poor.
then you
What
cannot do
about the
anything. You
debt?
cannot do anything. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows your condition. Allah knows your condition. If you cannot afford giving the fidya, then you deserve the fidya. Right? So you are in the receiving end, You take fidya from other people. If you cannot give and you don't have anything to support yourself, then you are in the category of receiving. So those who can receive the zakat, they don't have to give the zakat. Or those who cannot manage, then there is no sin upon them.
Allah knows everything.
Allah knows what your condition is. Yeah. So that is better for you if you fast in this ayat. And then Allah says, in kuntum ta'alamun. Here in means if. Okay? So this word in here means if. Okay? And and this kaf, waw and noon means to be. Okay? And kuntum is, fa'altum is from these kuntum. Okay? And the literal meaning of this is you were. Kuntum means you were. It's a past tense. Like fa'altum, you did. Kuntum, you were. Okay? And then the next word starts with ayn, lam, and mim. Alama, and this means to know. Commonly used words, alim or ilm are the words from these three letters. Alama means to know something. And again, we have been seeing that if you put a ta in the beginning and vuna at the end, so this brings the meaning of you and present. And this is, vuna means the meaning of plural. Okay? Okay. So if you put these three letters in the beginning, in the middle of ayn, lam, and mim, ta'alamuna. So ta'alamuna means you know. Okay. Okay. So ta'alamuna is the word here. Ta'alamuna means you know. Okay. Now notice that if kuntum was not there, okay, in means if, ta'alamuna means you know. If you know, sentence is complete here. Okay, sentence is complete. If and ta'alamuna, if you know, then fasting is better for you. Okay, but kuntum means it is bringing the concept of past tense. And so something that comes from the past tense and continues in the present tense, it's a continuous thing. If you have known this, okay, so in kuntum ta'lamun, if you have known it, or you can say if you knew it. If you knew, in English, if you say if I knew, which means I have known this in the past and I still know it. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if you knew what the reward is, then it is better that you fast. If you knew what the reward is, that, or if you come to know what the reward is, then better thing is to fast instead of giving the fidya. Okay? So if you, and you can say knew. If you knew, this is a better thing for you to do. Or if you have known. Okay?
If I want to add a word only, if only you knew it.
The word innama is used for that.
Okay, no, if only.
Yeah. Very commonly comes in the Quran. Innama. Innama ana basharum mislukum. Only I am a bashar like you. Allah in Surah Tawbah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Prophet ﷺ say, I'm only a bashar like, I'm not angel or I'm not this or that. I'm a human being like you. Yuha, the difference is that I get the wahi. You don't get the wahi of Allah, revelation of the Quran. I'm bashar like that, but the only advantage I have is that I am given the revelation, the Quran.
That's Surah Kahf.
Yeah. Surah Kahf and also Surah Tawbah.
قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي وإن إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لما something.
Yeah, yeah. But again, in Surah Tawbah, there is some people have tried to give the wrong meaning to the word innama. Inna and ma. Okay? The word
Certainly not.
certainly not. So if you translate that, then it becomes, Prophet is saying that I'm not a bashar. Okay, but actual meaning is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him to say, Prophet, I'm only a man. I'm only a human being like you. Okay, that, and the only thing is that I get this. Why? So inshallah we'll stop that.